Hey everyone, welcome to Horrible Gaming. My name is Nora, and on today's video we are progressing my Christmas in New York inspired island. So if you're new to my channel, I've actually been documenting pretty much the whole start to finish process of this island. If you're curious on how the build process has been and kind of just like what my plans are for this island, I highly recommend checking out my other videos of it. I will have it linked in the video's description and my most recent speed build of this island too in the end of this video. Of course, I'm planning to decorate off camera too, so I won't be able to document, sadly, every single step of this whole entire build process, but I am trying to document as much as possible in hopes that maybe it'll inspire you to finally pick up the game, because I know that so many of us are struggling on feeling inspired with Animal Crossing. So maybe this video today will finally get you inspired on making some beautiful Christmas decorations on your Animal Crossing island. So now that intro's out of the way, let's talk about what today's video is going to consist of. First of all, if you are a New Yorker, just know that this island is not an exact replica of New York. Now, there is a ton of New York inspiration for this island theme, but the game is very limited with decorations now, and there's obviously not very many new items anymore since updates have stopped. So I'm kind of just like making do with what we got. Now, I definitely wanted to make sure my brownstones were a feature on this island because obviously New York has those, and I really wanted to incorporate some things that New York does have, like a giant Central Park area. So I'm trying to basically label this island as a New York inspired Christmas city. I wing all of my builds, so most of the island is already on the first level, which was totally unexpected. I'm just kind of going with the flow and seeing what happens. I really wanted this to feel very modern and minimalistic in a way, so I'm trying not to clutter as much like my past two island themes have been. But don't worry, I have a lot of winter content planned for y'all after we finish this island up. I'm thinking about either doing something around a winter Japanese theme that's like very modern and luxe in a way, or maybe doing something kind of like a rural winter mountain town. So y'all let me know in the comment section which you hope to see first. Today's video is basically a continuation from my last, so I got all of this layout completely done and placed and kind of just talked about how I go about transitioning on my city islands. And so today we're going to be filling up all of that empty space, as much of it as possible basically, and doing a lot of decorating. As mentioned on the last video, the big empty spot at the left side, I'm going to add more brownstones over there. Since y'all have already seen the build several times, I'm going to fast forward this footage quite a bit, but if you want to learn how to build these brownstones and have something a little bit more slower pace, I actually did a speed build on this last year with my own custom designs, which are the ones that I'm using today, and you'll find all of that in that video, which will be linked in the video's description. Today we also got started on my ice rink area, which I'm kind of unhappy about, at least behind it, because I ran out of space. I did not realize I was nearly at the edge of my map, but I think I made it work. I think the biggest issue I'm gonna have later on is transitioning the highway that y'all saw on the last video into that location. I'm not sure how I'm gonna go about that or how it's gonna look, so I know that's gonna be a very difficult area, but I really loved from the highway location, you could see kind of like the tree in the distance with all the illuminated items, so I definitely don't want to relocate it for that reason. There's still a lot of empty spots in this whole entire area, which no idea what I'm going to be doing quite yet, so y'all drop me some ideas in the comment section. But I thought like in this really big empty spot, maybe I could do like a Christmassy shopping strip if there's enough space for it. Worst case scenario, maybe I'll do a couple small filler park areas since New York has a lot of those. But yeah, I'm just hoping that all of my ideas end up fitting on this island, and of course that y'all are loving it too. This theme is kind of difficult for me, mostly because it's very hard to feel inspired when you don't really know much on a location, but I'm just trying to have fun with it and go with the flow. In the end, I know that's what's most important. To be honest, I honestly find it ironic that I'm not very inspired to do locations that are in my country. I feel more inspired to do things that are in different countries, which is just, I don't know, really weird, because you think that somebody who lives in America would be like, yeah, American themes. I'm always inspired to do something that's familiar. I don't know about y'all, but that's just like a personal struggle for me, with exception of my tropical themes. I swear I love doing those themes so much just because I live in a tropical state. But besides that, I usually like to focus on things that are in different countries. So let me know if you're the same way. It took me so long to feel motivated to do this theme, and if you're one of my regular followers, you know it's been a struggle. I've been trying to do this theme and redoing it constantly. The original idea, honestly, for the New York theme was going to be during the fall, which if I feel inspired, I may do a fall New York theme just to show like 2 different versions of it, but make like the fall New York kind of more accurate. I don't know. Let me know if y'all are interested in that. I know several of you said you were on my previous video, but obviously if enough feedback happens, I'll do it. Most of the time when it comes to island builds, y'all's feedback really does mean a lot and kind of determine what islands become my priority. So that's why I always encourage you to join my live streams, to comment on my stuff. Let me know what you're really hoping to see, because if you don't let me know, then I might not finish the island. And that's just kind of how I work. I love feedback and I'm always checking my comment section. So there will be several transitions through the ice rink decorating, but the decor is pretty straightforward, mostly because I just changed my mind a bunch on the layout. And then of course, behind the ice rink is where those brownstones were that I talked about earlier in the video. So I'm kind of unhappy with that build behind it, but I obviously wanted the ice rink to have some of those behind it like I talked in the previous video. So I'm gonna leave it and just make it work. Maybe I'm just overthinking it, honestly, because I'm really bad about doing that. But y'all let me know if we should keep that there or maybe just make a ocean lookout with a road transition behind it. I personally feel like having those brownstones though behind the ice rink kind of captures more of that New York aesthetic with the tall skyscrapers. So that's why I'm thinking that maybe leaving those there is a good option for that reason. So anyways, now behind the ice rink, I'm just doing a very similar structure to my townhouse build video that I mentioned earlier in the video. And we're just doing one layer and rotating between colors of the medieval wall side. And then we're going to cover the front of it with the appropriate simple panel design. And then obviously the second level will just be medieval wall and the castle tower in simple panels. Before today's video ends, we're going to do obviously a quick walkthrough of the island progress and just how everything is looking. I'm pretty happy with how everything has been transitioning and how all the decorations are going. There's been a lot of difficult areas on this map already just with how the builds are going and turning out, but I think for the most part I'm making it work and the transitions are pretty easy and it's not too hard to navigate through the island. Originally I was hoping that my central park area could be in the center of my map, but it didn't go that way just because of how the townhouse builds were, but I still think for the most part it's capturing that magical Christmas in New York aesthetic. I think my next video focus will be continuing from the highway and doing some of the Christmas market builds that we talked about earlier in today's video. But of course, if y'all have any other ideas that you would hope to see on this island, let me know in the comment section. I also think that my central park area is now going to be kind of towards more of the right side of the map, so definitely a completely different layout than I was expecting for that, but I still think it'll work out. Again, most of the island is on the first level, which is kind of crazy to me as I was expecting to use a lot more terraform. But just like I said earlier today, I wing all of my builds. My layouts are very unexpected. So for the most part, even though it's mostly a first level island, I still think it has a lot of dimension and decor going on. So if you hate terraforming, maybe this island will be some great inspiration for you. Anyways, that's it for today's video. I hope that this island is bringing you a ton of inspiration. With that being said, thank y'all so much for watching and have a horrible day.